15 weird or strict social rules and laws from ancient China. You could avoid punishment if you were too short or young. In some dynasties, children or extremely short people were exempt from certain punishments, like corporal punishment or imprisonment, because they were seen as not yet fully developed or responsible. Men were expected never to cry in public. Confucian ideals emphasized masculinity, emotional restraint, and dignity. Crying was seen as weak, especially for men in government or military roles. Doing so could damage your status or career. You had to mourn your parents for 3 full years. When a parent died, Confucian law required 3 years of mourning. No fancy clothes, no parties, and even quitting your job if you were a civil servant. The color you wore could be illegal. Certain colors were reserved only for royalty. For example, yellow for the emperor only. Wearing it without permission could result in punishment or execution in some dynasties. You could be punished for being unfilial. Disobeying your parents or showing disrespect could be a criminal offense. Unfilial behavior was a legal category in some dynasties, with real punishments like beatings or jail. Rotten teeth were considered a sign of poor morality. Bad teeth were linked to bad behavior. Some ancient texts said moral corruption showed in the body. Foot binding was mandatory in some families. Starting around the 10th century, wealthy Han Chinese families began binding girls' feet tightly to make them smaller, a painful, lifelong process. It became so normalized that girls without bound feet were considered unmarriageable. Using chopsticks the wrong way was a bad omen. Sticking chopsticks upright in rice =sign bad luck because it resembles funeral incense. Doing so at a dinner table could offend your host or bring shame. The position you sat in showed your status. In official meetings, seating order, height, and even posture were dictated by strict etiquette rules. Sitting in the wrong spot could be seen as a challenge to authority. You could inherit your father's crimes. If a man committed treason or a serious crime, his entire family could be punished, including children and grandchildren, even if they weren't involved. Women had curfews in some cities. During certain dynasties, unmarried women or widows were not allowed out at night unless escorted. Exams were so hard people went insane. The imperial civil service exam was so intense that some scholars died from stress or went mad. Killing yourself could be honorable. In some cases, especially for women or disgraced officials, suicide was seen as the honorable choice. Widows were sometimes praised for killing themselves rather than remarrying. You could be arrested for not taking care of your parents. If you neglected your aging parents, neighbors could report you to local officials. It was treated as a moral and legal offense. Ghosts were taken so seriously, there were ghost courts. In some regions, people could file legal complaints on behalf of a ghost, especially if someone died unjustly.